My lords, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome back to Transport Fever 2 as we continue the Deluxe DLC series in the American Southwest. As you can see on the screen in front of you now, we're at the station in the town of Carrollton, and last time out we managed to get the machinery being brought into the city of Carrollton. That is now being consumed nicely by the industry buildings that require the machinery, which is obviously a very good and promising start. And today I want to start producing the goods. That's the second commodity that Carrollton is asking for to stimulate some growth. So let's bring up the UI so we can get straight into things today. So yes, here's the station. Obviously this is all new, we did it last time out. As we mentioned, we do have a goods factory here. We have plenty of oil, a refinery and a chemical plant in the vicinity. And we also have steel already being produced for us over here at the Carrollton steel mill. So it's just a case of getting the steel brought in, getting some oil refined into refined oil, into plastic, and then into here. And that coupled with that steel that we will bring in as well will get us some goods being produced. We can then bring those goods down into the station, and as per, they will then be consumed where needed. So to start off, we'll make a start with the oil side of things. We already have this station here at Athens, and this oil well is at full capacity as we can see. So we'd be foolish not to tap into this one, especially because we can run a pretty simple line. I know I did mention perhaps using trucks to do this, but I think we will go for a train line. So we'll have a train service into here. It will unload, pick up as much refined oil as it can before heading down to the chemical plant and then heading back to the oil well to pick up another load of crude. So to make a start then, we're going to have to expand our station right here. So that's nice and simple. We'll need one more platform for this. So we'll just run one down the outside. We'll make sure this line here has a connection point so the trains can actually get onto this platform before they depart to the refinery. So to do that, we'll just nice and easy, we'll keep it at 75 miles per hour. We don't need the catenary, so we'll turn that off. We'll keep them all non-electrified for the time being. Connect that in there, and then we're going to run the line out towards the refinery over there towards what city is it? Peoria, that's it. So we're going to head that way, and that's going to be, again, nice and straightforward. It isn't too long of a distance to travel, and we can probably maintain the same gradient height that we currently find ourselves at. It doesn't look like the land falls away or rises up too much, so we should be able to get away with a nice straight track, which makes it even easier for our trains to contend with. Before we go any further, let's get this station ready at the refinery. And where are we? We're there. I'm thinking if we have our station, well, let's first of all increase the length of it. If we have our station maybe here, we can bend the track into there, and then we can have them run out that way on their way to the chemical plant once they've picked up the refined oil. We do have catenary there. I forgot to turn it off, but that's fine. And let's have a look at that. It's fine, but it does bend left and right a little bit there. So I think the best thing to do is just push it back even further so that bend is not as obvious. There we go. That looks a lot better, a lot nicer. So yeah, that's it. Nice and simple there. Nothing too complicated. We may as well. In fact, we don't need to double track this because the trains are going to be running in a loop system anyway, so that can stay as single track. If we start using this for anything else, then we might want to look at double tracking it. However, that's not something we need to worry about right now, so we shall just leave it as it is and have a nice bit of single track for a change. Hopefully from here we can connect into the industry automatically, and we'll test that in a few moments. I just want to complete that road, don't want it left hanging in midair. And yes, we do have that working connection, so that's fantastic. Okay, so let's rename this to the Athens Oil Refinery. There we go. And now if we head over to the chemical plant, we may as well build our station first of all before we start laying the track. And we'll have it this angle here, I think is probably the best way to do this one. Let's turn that catenary off while it's in our mind. And we may as well just have this right on the edge there, so it's automatically connected in. And this will be the Clearwater chemical plant. And now we just need to do a nice straightforward and single track connection between here and the oil refinery. Which way are we wanting to head? There it is, just there, now popping into view. Let's keep you at that height. Bit of a tunnel there, not a problem with that. And then we'll run a nice, pretty straightforward, pretty straight connection between the two stations. Just checking how far down the station extends. So if we aim for that sort of area there, so let's just bring you that way. We want to make sure we can just kick around the side of the oil field just here. There we go. And then just brush up against the side of Athens like that. So spitting distance there to Athens. And then you come in like that. It's a bit tight, although 60 miles an hour, 57 miles per hour isn't too bad. And again, it kind of kicks in and out there, so I think we'll just do this over a longer distance like we did previously, just to get it looking a little bit straighter. So can we do that? Does that look better? Yes, it does. You don't need to do that, of course, although it's still got a bit of a shimmy here, but it doesn't seem to be quite as pronounced as it was first time around. So that's that. So we can now get down to here. So the last thing we need to do to get this up and running is get this connected up here so they can get back to the oil wells up there by Athens. And I think the best way to do that is we'll have it curve here fairly steeply or fairly sharply, since they're just leaving the station and building up speed anyway. The slow speed here won't be too much of an issue, because from here on out we should be able to get them maximum speed. And where is the best place to join in? Well, we go single track there, so if we did something like this, say, and if we can get that to 75 miles per hour, and if we can connect it in, oh, it's maybe, oh no, that's fine, that is 75 miles an hour. I thought we might have lost some speed on that corner, but clearly not. Okay, there we go, that's pretty much all we need. What we are going to want to have are some one-way signals along here, because even though it's single track, we're going to have multiple trains running down here, so this is just for blocking purposes. And let's have a one-way signal there. We can probably get away with keeping that as one long block, if I'm perfectly honest. It shouldn't cause too many problems. But then stick some blocks along this run here between the oil well and the refinery, like that. And then last of all, it's between the refinery and the chemical plant. And we don't need to do too many blocks for this. We're not going to have too many trains, but enough that we can space them out and they can, get on their way. Right, that's all there is to that really. Nothing else required there. So we may as well get this first train running. That's going to end up producing our plastics that we need. So new line, we want to come from the Athens oil fields. We'll colour this one black. Here we want you to have a full load. Wait as long as you need to for that. And we will just specify this. So you're loading crude. You come into the oil refinery here. Here we'll have you take a full load, but give you a maximum stop time of maybe, we'll call it, we'll go 3 minutes. We can adjust it if they're filling up before the 3 minutes, or 3 minutes 10 seconds, that's fine. And here we want them to load the refined oil that's being produced after unloading the crude, and then they're coming into the Clearwater chemical plant. This is where, of course, they will unload that refined oil they've just picked up. They won't be picking anything up here. Instead, they'll be dropping off and then heading straight back around into the Athens oil fields just here. That's very, very straightforward. Nice simple loop system there. So now we can give this a name. So this is, we'll call it oil, and Athens to CLWT, Clearwater, that'll do I think. And we'll use this depot, buy ourselves a couple of trains. I'm thinking we might go for something like 3 for this one. And do we want to double head this? No, I don't think so. Tank cars, shall we say about 120 capacity, maybe go for about 150, 156, that should be fine. Give it a caboose, and what did you say? Did you say 3? 29 million. And on their way. So they'll start, that should now start dropping off some oil on this side, or splitting this between the two. Hopefully in just a few moments time we'll start to see that appear on this platform. Everything is set up correctly, so should start doing that, although it hasn't done it yet. Let's just have a look here. All 400 is being still sent to Fort Lauderdale, and none is being designated for the Athens oil refinery. Did we make a mistake setting up our line at all? Well, let's check. So manage the line. So you are loading crude at Athens oil refinery, that's correct. Sorry, at the Athens oil field you're loading crude, then you're unloading crude and loading refined. Cancel that. And then at Clearwater you are unloading refined. So that should be working. I'm not sure why it isn't putting any on the second platform. You'd think they would do that, but evidently not. Maybe when the trains start to arrive we'll see them start to load up the second platform. Well, in the meantime, we'll just leave that and see what happens. We might have to perhaps send this to a different oil field. Maybe this one here instead. And if we have to do that, then that won't be too much of a problem to solve. It'll still work. Now, well, look at that. We have 4 barrels or 1 unit. So they are now sending it that way, just not a great deal of it, which is bit of a shame. I'd like to see them send a little bit more. Maybe we would be best sending these guys to a dedicated oil field. So I'm thinking this one right here. So let's just do it just for the sake of it. We'll give this a direct connection there. And then we want you guys to come this way and connect in to here. So it's a bit slow there at 40 miles per hour. 39 there, but they're just leaving the station anyway, so that's fine. So if we do that, and again with the signals here, one way, perhaps one there, and that might have to do actually, and then have this chap come in to here. What speed would that give us? 75. Let's just pull this back down here. That's a little better. Not in terms of speed, but just in terms of how the line looks. And have you come this way around. Like this. With the blocks down there. Let's just rename this to the Gainesville oil field. Okay. How are you doing? I bet you've still only picked up a small handful, haven't you? Yeah, 2. So that's not going to work out for us then. So what we'll do instead is head into this line here, manage it. We will remove that stop right there. And after there, have you come in here. So it's all a little bit backwards. Full load, as long as you need. And of course, here you're loading crude oil. So then you'll go from here to here to here and to here. So it will still work. It's just doesn't necessarily look like it's in the correct order. So you should now be on your way. So that's fine. So you're going to drop off 2 units, so in theory you could pick up 1 unit of refined oil at the Athens oil refinery. You're now starting to populate at a much faster rate, so that's good. That's exactly what we want. This train that's waiting here should depart when he has cleared this signal here. And in fact, what we can probably do, since this is now just passing through here and not actually picking anything up, we can have a short signal right on the end of the platform just to get the ball rolling on the train departures that little bit faster. Put another signal just there, say. So, yep, you're now on your way. You're still producing the oil and doing so at a far superior rate than this fellow was. So yeah, that's fine. So we had to tweak it slightly, but no harm, no foul. It's not going to cause us any problems. Right, so plastic from here to here. It is only a short journey, so I'm thinking we might just do a road and use trucks between these two. So let's get the road construction tool, and we'll just have a nice simple connection that... Can you tunnel through there? Yeah, we'll have a little tunnel through the foot of the hills there before coming around this way. Whoops. And this is where you're going to be dropping off, but we need to be to remember, we need to be mindful that we probably want a station in this area somewhere where we can. So maybe the station would go this way along here, with a view to the lines then coming down here into Carrollton and down here into the steel mill. So yeah, let's go for something like that. Can you curve a bit better? Yeah, that's a bit nicer. And then what we'll have them do is when they've dropped off, have them come out this way, not like that though, more like that, almost as a one-way system, and again not like that, before rejoining the road there back to the chemical plant. So over here then we want an unload point there. That's where the chemicals, or the plastics rather, will be unloaded. Let's put ourselves a waypoint there and there just to make sure we can send the trucks the right way around the one-way system. They will come down here, and over here somewhere we need to squeeze in a truck station. And I think we'll have it just there. As you just seen previously, Carrollton now demands tools and fuel, so we can consider them a little bit later in the series, but it won't be in this episode, that's certain. So if we have one way in and out, get our street connection, we'll just use a small one here to bring you into there, and then revert back to the larger connection, or the larger road type, into there. You are connected to everything, although we're only really interested if you whether or not you're connected to the chemical plant. Clearwater Transfer, yeah, we'll retain that name there. And let's give ourselves a new line then from Clearwater Transfer that takes a full load, regardless of how long that will take, picks up plastic, heads via this waypoint, drops off the plastic at Locust Street, and then heads back this way. Colour scheme for this, maybe that sort of lilac colour will be suitable. Or perhaps, no, not that one, that's not quite right. That one maybe? Yeah, we'll go for that light pink, that's close enough. And this will be plastics and Clearwater, since we are not actually going anywhere else. So plastics, Clearwater. We may as well give them a bespoke and dedicated road depot down here, just like that. And by vehicles, it's the tarpaulin trucks for this, and I'm going to say 20, and hopefully that'll be enough when all this starts feeding in properly. We'll have to wait and see about that though. Put them on the line, so we will have a bit of a backlog here while they're waiting for the first load of plastics to be produced, which is probably going to take them a little while. You're still waiting for a load, so let's just reverse and send you on the way. We'll do that with all of the trains actually, get them to depart this station sooner rather than later. That way they can get back round to here that little bit faster, where we already have 180 units of crude oil awaiting collection. So you have consumed, have you actually picked up a unit of refined oil? No, you haven't. Why haven't you? You've produced one. Who's Why are you not being registered as a consumer? Well, maybe it just takes a little while to kick into gear. So that's that. We want you to come on through, and as soon as you stop, we'll do the same thing again where we reverse you back, just to prompt you to head on towards the chemical plant. And then the last one, we'll just have him wait. And here, I think he'll wait for about 3 minutes. What do we have here? The Benz truck with side stakes, 25 miles per hour. We also have the Benz tarpaulin trucks, again clocking in at 25 miles per hour. So it's probably not a bad idea to go ahead and look at our trucks and just do a bulk upgrade on our trucking fleet. So bricks, in fact let's just, if we just do the bricks one first. So you can take bricks, steel, planks and logs. Okay, so that's you and you. Any planks and logs? Yes, we have 2 logs, so you 2 as well. Any planks? You should be suitable. Whoops. Steel was another commodity and I've lost the others, so just tick those ones back in to include them once again. There we go, that's all of those. So you're the ones who can be on the side stake truck, so an 11 million price tag to swap those out. There we go. And now all the remaining ones will use the tarpaulin trucks instead. So that's the machinery ones, the plastics, not the logging shunt, and the tools. You'll go to the tarpaulin truck for 60 million total. And let's just have a look at those. Starting to look perhaps modern is not quite the right phrase you'd use, but a bit more recognisable, shall we say, as a truck compared to the steam-driven trucks that we were just using until very recently. I just want to check that the logging shunt is using the correct style here, which I think you were from here, weren't you? Yeah, I don't think you pick up anything other than logs or planks. Let's just have a look. Well, yeah, yes, that's right. You're just taking it from there to there. You're literally just shunting the logs from the industry onto the station, so we know that's okay. I just wanted to just make sure of that more than anything. Right, so our first and second trains are now heading towards the chemical plant and then obviously onto the oil well. This train here, we're just going to let him wait for a little while, just for spacing purposes more than anything else. Although, what the heck, yeah, we may as well send him on his way as well. So that's that taken care of. We now, or we will soon, have chemicals being delivered to the goods factory. The next thing we need to get there is steel. So you're going to want to have one platform for outgoing goods to Carrollton. In fact, we have quite a few towns that demand goods down here. We also have Rockford, West Jordan and Chandler, and there's a potential for these other cities to require goods as well when they start to grow. So we're going to want at least 3 for outgoings, and then we want 1 for the steel that is incoming. So that's 4 so far, with a view to perhaps increasing that a little bit later on. Let's put this, like I said, somewhere like that, so straight through that little ridge line there, but that's fine. And the first one we'll get connected up for today is that incoming steel. So let's have this come this way, That's quite a large tunnel, but that's not too much of a problem. Don't have too many complaints about that. Have you come out nice and straight? So you're going to be steel. So we want you to be double tracked. Let's get that back down to about 50 miles per hour. There we go. So we'll double track this. And how do we want to connect you in? Perhaps down here is the most logical solution. So let's have you curve around. Hopefully we can get both at 75. Yes, we can. We might avoid that field there. Oh no, I mean we could avoid it by going this way a little, so we may as well do that. So let's have these come just around here. And let's see, you want to come over here and connect into this line like that. See if we can get that without that ugly overlap. Well, we could if we bring them parallel first of all. And what are you colliding with exactly? Now you're wanting to... Oh, if we do... Yeah, we'll have it do that instead. It's going to make the road all sorts of ugly, but it is what it is. And now you can come over nice and smooth. 60 is the lowest speed I see there, which is more than tolerable. Connect that little missing point there. Bring you around alongside. This might be a little bit slower here. Nope, 63. Like that. Let's first of all put our signals in and around the junction to make sure the junction is properly protected. So that, there, one there. And then we'll put short signals here to clear the junction in case anything else is wanting to access. We can get away with a block here, like that. And then from here on out, we'll just put in our regular blocking signals between here and the goods factory. We're not going to have too many trains hauling the steel over, so we don't have to keep them short. We can give them a bit of space between each block, like that. And let's put a clearing one there for the platform as well. Alright, so now we should be able to set up a line to bring in the steel. So let's see if we can do that. Do we have a spare platform first of all to pick up the steel? We have this one, however that's a pass-through. So the short answer is no. And ideally we want to have a dedicated platform, just so they're not getting anything else's way. So let's give them a dedicated platform, like that. And we want to connect this in, but we want to make sure that if we have one of these new trains on the platform and another train waiting, they're not gonna block anything else, for example the iron, from being able to get onto the platforms. So what we'll do is that have the second track come down here like this. And can we get them to come together parallel? Let's see, if we put 2 more parallel tracks there, we should then be able to connect that in. 55 miles per hour, so a little slower down there, but it's nothing we can't live with. And that will work. I don't know if I like the look of it though, but it'll have to do for now. I might tweak that off camera. And here is where we'll merge together. Again, a little bit slow there, but it's not the end of the world. Like that. And let's put a signal there, one there, short signal there, and let's put a couple of blocks between here and the steel mill station, like so. Do I like that? It's a bit close, and I prefer if it filled in, we didn't have the dip between the two, but again, it isn't the end of the world. The main thing is now we can go back to that line we were about to set up and set it up from a dedicated platform. So let's first of all give it a steel sort of colour, so we'll go for a dark grey. Add station, so you're coming from here. We want you on platform 5. We want you to be fully loaded and wait as long as you need to for that. Loading steel, coming down here and around to the goods factory. Like that, perfect. That's all we need it to do, nothing more, nothing less. So this is steel, and this is Carrollton to Clearwater. There we go. So now we can get a train for this one. And let's use the depot. Right, in fact, we can use this depot if we give it a connection this way, like that, with a one-way signal there, just so they're not waiting in the depot for access. They can wait up against the block itself. So again, buy vehicles, locomotives. We're not going to double head this. Flat car with side stakes, and I'm going to go for maybe just a short train for this 108 capacity. Whack on the gondola, sorry, whack on the caboose. 15 million for 2 of those. Yeah, a 9 carriage train should be more than enough to handle this, at least initially. We can always come back and change it up a little bit later on. And let's make sure you're going on the right one. Carrollton to Clearwater. And away you come. That should prompt a bit faster production here. Ooh, the coal is running dry. I have removed one of these coal trains from this service. We had 3, if you remember, when we first set it up. Looks like we might need more than that. In fact, how many do you take? 200. And what is your frequency? 4 minutes. Yes, so you are running that dry. So I think what we'll do, and what we really want to do, is get that up to 6 minutes, or drop this rate down a little. Do we have another coal mine nearby we could also use to supplement this? I thought there was, perhaps not. No, I can't see one straight off the bat. I might be missing it, however. No, it looks like the nearest one is all the way over here between Chandler and Nashville, or this one down here. So we could perhaps supplement from the Nashville one if we come this way around and connect into here, because a lot of this is double tracked, and then just have it drop off on the same platform as the iron. And because they're not loading anything, they're not going to block anything else, because they'll go in, drop off, and then get out of the way. So that might be something to consider, just to augment the amount of coal we have coming in here. The iron is not a problem, as we can see. The iron is absolutely fine. It is the coal where we're lacking. But anyway, we can revisit that in the future. Why have you... Oh no, you haven't gone through there. You've picked up a load, haven't you? At least I hope you have. Yes, you have. What about you? Are you picking anything up? Oh, you are picking stuff up. That's great. And where's our 3rd train? You should be... Where are you? Where's the 3rd one? Ah, you're there, and you're over. You're fully loaded as well. Okay. So they should space themselves out a little better as time progresses. What are we up to? About 30-35 minutes, so I think that's probably a decent spot to end it for today. I think what we take a ride on this outro is we'll come down to the chemical plant and probably back to the oil well, so it's just going to drop off and then depart here. We're not going to be waiting around. So what we'll do, we'll send this train on its way, even though it's only partially loaded. In fact, it's just leaving anyway. That is some good timing. So let's hop on board. So yes, we're just on our way now, and Got the catenary above us, which is completely unnecessary since we don't even have diesels at this point. We're still on the steam trains, but at least that station is future-proofed for when we do start getting the electrics, which is going to be a little while just yet. Regardless, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Comments, of course, are always welcome down in the comments section down below. Watch out, bear. Squish. Ouch. That would have been a bit messy. Yes, comments and feedback, suggestions and the likes, more than welcome and appreciated down below. Special thank you to those of you who are pledged over on Patreon. It's an absolutely fantastic gesture and one that is greatly and deeply appreciated by yours truly. So thank you very much for that indeed. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, all that remains for me to say is, as always, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.